Rooftop Sports welcomes you to a special presentation of the National Football League. And welcome to a very special edition of my fantasy football draft, as I am the commissioner of the league and I will be covering the fantasy football draft. So yeah, I'm here to cover my draft, and I'll show you an example of what my draft will look like. Here is what it looks like so far. That is the draft. I don't know if the screen is big enough, though, however. I'm going to test some things out and make sure it all works. Obviously not looking good so far, but I think that's the best I can do right now. I hope that is a big enough screen for you to look at. So yeah, that is my draft right now, and there was some history of last year's draft, and I must say, so last year in the playoffs. So here's what happened. So I'm going to go to the league history. So it was the 2022 season, and by the way, my draft is in about 9 minutes. So in case if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button, as I will be covering my fantasy football league as well to show you some post-game scores. And here is what happened. So in the standings overall, in the regular season, I finished as the 3rd seed when I was 9-5. The best team was 10-4. It was Team WTF. I don't know why he names himself like that, but whatever floats his weirdo boat, I guess that's how it works. So let's go to my schedule so far. So it was week 1. So I was like doing a standstill. First, I started with a 1-2 record. Then it went to 2-2, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4, 6-4, 6-5, and then I won my last 3 games to go 8-5 for the rest of the season. That would secure me into the playoffs. I went 9-5, actually 9-5. And then here was the score. So in the first round, I won convincingly 117-92. Then in the semifinals, I won 163-85. And then in the semis, it was not so easy. I won by a score of this much. And here is what it was. You're not going to believe this. 91.7 to 91.6. Check that out. So, yep, that was my result. And thankfully, it was because the dude picked Baker Mayfield as his player, as his quarterback, and that completely just ruined it. So, yep, that was pretty embarrassing of him, but I don't care because it worked out in my favor. But now here is this draft so far. And of course, I'll probably be looking at that screen over there because I don't want to let me see if I can, or maybe if I can move it right here, because I don't think I really have anyone chatting up anyway. So I'll just put my screen over here. I'll just focus on the draft right over here. So here are the first 10 overall. Well, first, let's go over to the picks. So the 12th overall pick is Macaroni and Cheese. Number 11th pick overall is Bella Check Yourself. Number 10 overall pick is Cougar Advance. Epic C is number 9. And now I got to explain to my league because they are not happy with me at all. Now I'm going to actually change the draft setting somehow. Guess I have some time to do that. Nope, I don't have time to do that. Or no, I should have time to do that. You would think. I'm going to try to figure this out. I never seem to figure out how to do this. Guess I'm just going to have to do it in the middle of it. So after the first, League Manager. Pause the draft. So I have to pause the draft. So after the first round pick, I will do this. After first round draft Time 45 seconds. Oh yeah. So if anyone who is watching this show, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification, as I am of course covering not only baseball, I'm also covering the football season as well. So that is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So hopefully this will be a great season, as I am looking forward to it. And I'm still at 721 subscribers so far. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button as soon as you possibly can. And the draft is starting in about 3 minutes and 38 seconds. So let's keep this going. So the first overall projected pick, it is going to be Justin Jefferson. He was actually on my team last year. Then it was Jamar Chase is number 2. Then we got Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, Tony Pollard, Cooper Kupp, Nick Chubb, and CeeDee Lamb. Lots of names I don't even recognize. There's also DK Metcalf. Josh Allen is somehow in there, and there's also Pat Mahomes. Hopefully these guys don't get overpicked, but I would imagine they would. Jalen Hurts, I'm not going to pick him for sure because he's not exactly that great. Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter by margin of victories. A victory is a victory. And now we're about 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from the draft. Definitely looking forward to it. I just don't know if I have the 7th overall pick, so I'm in line to get Devontae Adams. I'm not going to pick Devontae Adams because his quarterback is no longer Derek Carr, not even Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to pick instead, man, I should probably pull up the NFL depth charts too, just in case. There's my link to the draft. But yep, keep chatting away. So yeah, NFL drafts for all 32. I got to take a look at those. Yep, okay. I got that ready to go. And we are about 1 minute and 43 away from this draft. The players I have on queue so far are Christian McCaffrey. I mean, Derrick Henry is number 10. I don't know if I would draft him just because the guy's just been injured. He's pretty much broken at this point. He did have a healthy season last season, but I don't expect him to be any more healthy because he's not getting any younger. It's like the running back situation it's kind of a crapshoot. You got Nick Chubb as the other. I think he's like the other reliable running back, but he's also another year older. But for that value, I probably would pick him there. Other than that, and then the second rounds, I'm looking at DK Metcalf possibly. There's also AJ Brown as another possibility, but DK is definitely on the top of my priorities right now. And looks like we almost have everyone except Dirty Birds. Dirty Birds is not on right now. But yeah, Dirty Birds, I got ping the guy and see if he's there. So we got 30 seconds until the draft, so hopefully Dirty Birds will make it. Luckily, I have basically everyone else they have made it. Seattle Water Bottles told me he was not going to make it tonight, so I do appreciate his communication, but I need Dirty Birds to be on it. So Dirty Birds, get your butt over here. And the draft will start in 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And officially begun. With 57 seconds left on the clock, we got the Dirty Birds. He is currently on the clock right now. And we got a special guest as well, our competitor. We've got C Films. He is on the draft right now. And everyone, welcome to C Films. How are you today, C Films?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Yeah. Ready for some NFL drafting?
Yes, I am ready. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get this done. And the Dirty Birds is late, so that ain't good. Alex, it's a Cougar Advance should be ready to go. How do you feel about this season so far?
I think the season's going to be great. I think Seahawks are going to win their division.
Well, we're not about this is about fantasy football. So, and the fun fact about C Films is in his league, in our league known as Epic C. You should probably change your name to Epic C when you have the opportunity. And there goes Christian McCaffrey. He is officially off the board. So Christian McCaffrey has been drafted. But yeah, Epic C last season, he scored the most points out of anyone in the league, and he still managed to miss the playoffs just out of just pure bad luck, unfortunately. What were your thoughts on that, Epic C?
I don't know. I'm really good with stats. It's just luck's not always on my side.
Yeah, luck's not on the side. I mean, that's unfortunate. That's how it works. And I remember, like, back in our college days, I actually did do a video covering my fantasy basketball league. And here I am now, about 10 years later, I'm covering a fantasy football league.
Mm-hmm.
But, yep. So on the clock, we got auto draft. He's picked Austin Eckler as the number 3 overall pick. Justin Jefferson was taken as the 2nd overall pick by Team G, also known as the Godwin on the team. But yes, thank you very much for joining this draft. And don't look at my cues, of course. Just focus on your draft. Because I don't want you cheating.
On my draft. I'm not watching your cues. I have my own plan here.
That's good. You have a plan of yourself. And we got Seattle Water Bottles, who was on the clock. He probably should have set himself as auto draft. So that's going to go for another 60 seconds. And just as an alert, starting in the 2nd round, we will be putting it at 45 seconds, as I accidentally did start this draft 15 minutes later than I should have. It was just because I accidentally forgot to set the order, or the league just glitched up or something. And now we had to start 15 minutes late. So I'll make it up for them by having it be 45 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
And we have an audience of 3 viewers so far. Could use some more viewers. And yeah, well, trying to get some of my other friends to join. I'm going to try to see if he can join. I'm going to send an invite to him. And look at that. Rooftop Sports is now on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
With the 7th overall pick. And yeah. I don't know who I'm going to pick as the 7th overall pick. It's a very tough choice. I got Devontae Adams. I'm not going to pick him. Bijan Robinson, not going to draft him. I think I will go with... I'm going to go with Tony Pollard, Dallas Cowboys, because they have a great offensive line for the most part. And he's replacing Ezekiel Elliott. Did a great job replacing him. So Tony Pollard is my pick. And real soon, once it gets to pick number 13, I'm going to have to set the league to 45 seconds. So be aware of that. And hopefully we can get our friend, the Jay Trident podcast, to join the show as well. I don't think he will, but we'll see. It's time to execute Order 65 on John Stanton, Jerry Dipoto. I mean, we're just talking about the Mariners right now, so not the time when we're talking about football. This is not baseball right now.
I just got a great player.
And Epic C. And there's Jay Trident podcast. And Jay Trident, I sent you the link. You are invited to the show because I need some friends here. Maybe you could get some reaction about who I draft. So when you have the opportunity, I just sent you the link. So go ahead and take it. I hope you regret not picking Devontae Adams. Well, Devontae Adams' quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo, and I don't really trust Garoppolo to be the quarterback for him.
Garoppolo's underrated.
Garoppolo, yeah, he's underrated.
He's good at passing.
Yeah.
So there's opportunity there.
Maybe. And once Macaroni and Cheese makes his pick, I am going to set the draft to 45 seconds each. Yes, we need a break from football or baseball because the Mariners really did infuriate us very heavily, unfortunately.
I heard they had like a 40% chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to just keep going now. It is now 45 seconds. I made the draft 45 seconds or 45-second picks.
Okay. Ooh, did someone pick who I thought they picked? Oh. And someone chose a quarterback
So many
early.
picks. Yeah, who was the earliest quarterback picked?
Patrick Mahomes at 12.
Of course. Yeah, oh, it was what's that guy's name? It was the guy that we go bowling with. His name is Mike. Okay. So he picked him early. Nick Chubb is gone. He gone. Stephon Diggs is off the clock, off the draft. Derrick Henry fell. He fell into the second round. So that was a pretty good sleeper pick. Saquon Barkley, I think he's going to regret that pick for sure. And now I'm getting close to my pick, and I already know who I want to draft.
Well,
do you have a guess on? Do you have a guess on who you think I want to draft?
Well, I think you're gonna maybe draft Josh Allen.
I drafted DK Metcalf.
Oh, that early?
So right now,
That early?
Yeah, because he would have been gone by pick number 31. So DK Metcalf is my wide receiver, and you've got. Well, who have you picked so far?
I have Davante Adams and Josh Jacobs.
Davante Adams and Josh Jacobs, huh?
The Raiders. No, I'm picking all the Raiders. The Raiders have a good season. Iowa will win.
I don't think the Raiders are going to have a good season, though.
Hey, you never know. The Raiders might pull it
off.
Josh
McDaniels is not a good coach.
Yeah, but think about this. Did you know the Raiders had some of the most close games last year? They were one of the teams.
Yeah, but Josh McDaniels can't close the deal.
Doesn't matter about closing the deal. As long as your players play good, it doesn't matter if you win games.
Derrick Henry would normally be a first-round pick, especially considering Tennessee is allergic to passing the ball. Well, obviously, when Tannehill is your quarterback, I mean, what do you expect, right? But yeah, DK Metcalf is those two players will have great seasons. I would hope that Tony Pollard and DK Metcalf have great seasons. And it looks like Dirty Birds, looks like he's going to be out of it. Dirty Birds has officially auto-drafted.
Well, you think about this. Like I said earlier, fantasy sports is more about each individual player playing good. It's not about the overall team.
Is it?
Yes, because your team can win games that have low stats.
I guess.
As long as that one player plays really good. So your team could win 5 games a whole year, but you could have amazing stats. Look at back in the day when you used to have a Matthew Stafford. He'd have great stat lines, but his team was junk.
His team was junk. But how do you feel about the Rams?
Value.
Do you think the Rams will be junk?
I think they'll be better than last year.
You think so, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You think they couldn't be any worse?
Yeah, I think they're going to be better than last year.
Amari Cooper, no. Green Bay is going to be like nothing. There's like no one to pick in Green Bay except maybe Jordan Love.
Oh. Ooh, that's interesting.
I don't trust the Saints because I just don't see Derek Carr doing anything. Raiders losing is probably better for Adams. Playing from behind could get him big numbers. I didn't think about that. It's a good point, Jay Trident. But I'll just say it right now for the sake of content, but I'm looking at wait, are you picking? You're not even picking before me, so I can just tell you who I'm going to draft. Think about Najee Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers because they love to run the ball. Their line is pretty good. So I think Najee Harris is going to be my guy. Now it's just a matter of who I'm going to pick as a wide receiver. And I'm going to pick Najee Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's my guy. Once it gets after pick 8, it's after the 8th round. I'm going to set it to 30 seconds.
Yeah, I have an ideal for a sleeper pick later, but I'm not telling you about my sleeper pick.
Najee Harris is his name, not Najee Harris. Someone corrected me as Najee Harris. All right, thank you very much. I think you're Hannah, I'm pretty sure. Just by those long names gives me the idea. Right now, I have 3 audiences in. Hit that subscribe button when you guys get the opportunity. As obviously, I am going for football over more than just baseball. I mean, how do you feel about that, Epic C, that the Rooftop Sports
I like that.
is going beyond football or going beyond baseball and the Mariners?
Yeah, I like
I
that.
couldn't, it just wasn't sustainable to just do Mariners for the rest of time. And we got Macaroni and Cheese. He is on the pick right now. He's on the clock at 25 seconds. Let's take a look and see at Macaroni and Cheese as he is taking a sweet old time. He's got Pat Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, and Amari Cooper. How do you feel about that team?
What team? Which team are we talking about?
Talk about the Macaroni and Cheese.
Macaroni and Cheese. Not as good as my team.
Well, let me take a look at your team, Epic C. You've got Josh Jacobs of the Raiders, Devonta. You have a bunch of Raiders on your teams, and you have a Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Just waiting for my pick. I don't know who I'm going to pick as a wide receiver, though. The wide receivers seem to be pretty much dead. I think I know who I want. I know who I want. I'm going to take a chance on him.
Well, have you got your quarterback yet?
I have not drafted a quarterback quite yet. And I'm sure Jalen Hurts is gone at this point. All right. The Rooftop Sports is on the clock, and I am going to pick Steelers Deontay Johnson. Any thoughts on that pick?
Who?
I guess that's the comments that I needed.
I'm like, who are you drafting? I don't know. Well, I got your counterpart to your DK Metcalf.
Who?
I got the other wide receiver.
You got Tyler Lockett?
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Last year I had DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett's stats are pretty much the same as DK Metcalf's. They're pretty comparable.
I think I know who I want as quarterback, but I'm not going to tell you, obviously.
I think there's still a lot of good quarterbacks left, and it's like round 5.
It is.
Like, quarterback's something you can sleep on to like almost round 6.
Yeah, because they don't their points take a bit more to get.
Let's see any good running backs left. And that's what I'm sleeping on.
Auto Draft, he is taking his time right now. Let's see what Auto Draft has. He has Eckler of the Rams. He's got Waddle of the Miami Dolphins and Deebo Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers. Any thoughts on those players that he drafted?
A lot of players I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Andy, how's it going? I'm sure you've subscribed to my channel. If you did, great. If not, then subscribe to that channel. What are you waiting for? I'm going to put it on the banner, mention that I'm at 721 subs, need 1,000. Also, announcement, I may be covering the final parts of the Mariners game tomorrow, and also may be covering, what else will I be covering? Possibly the Chiefs-Lions game on Thursday, so stay tuned for updates on that as well. And now the ticker is getting in the way of our picture. We've got Pat Mahomes. Yep, he was already picked. No one's really talking right now. Kyle Pitts was the last guy picked by the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think he's on auto anymore, thankfully. DeAndre Hopkins has been picked by Dirty Birds. Rashad White has been picked by Team G. And Lamar Jackson is off the clock. He's off the drafting board. And Kenneth Walker is also off. I mean, what are your thoughts on Kenneth Walker for next season?
Kenneth Walker, you mean the running back for Seahawks?
Seattle Seahawks, yeah.
Well, it depends. Like, because what happens usually with running backs is they get injured and then someone else replaces them. So if they get injured and there's this new rookie they have from UCLA, and how much do they want to utilize him?
I mean, they're going for the depth. That's as it was because they don't want to lose any depth. And also, I'm at 722 subscribers. Whoever was 722, I totally appreciate. I've had 7 subs today, so not a bad day for me today. Trying to make up for yesterday that I only got 2. And Andy, definitely appreciate the comments that you're truly the man. You speak the facts nobody wants to hear. Really appreciate all your hard work, which is probably why I can't get the algorithm because people want just people that kiss ass. Unfortunately, but I kind of have a hint. Oh, TJ Hawkinson is unfortunately off the clock, so he will not be available. My tight end is not looking good, that's for sure. But I think I know who I want as my next pick, so I'm going to pick for this pick. I'm going to pick Justin Herbert. Any thoughts on the Justin Herbert pick?
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's my thing about, for Hannah, Lamar Jackson picked over Herbert. I mean, Jackson, he still runs. He still gets those miles in there for the runs. But, yeah, of course, he has injury problems because he runs too much because he's like right-handed Michael Vick. But he picked him because he probably gets all the red zone carries for himself. He dives in. So that, I guess that's where he's coming from. I mean, I'm picking Justin Herbert because he is one of the better quarterbacks on the rise right now, so I just went for him. And have you picked your quarterback yet, Epic C?
No,
you have not.
Choice good on this. Okay. No, because the 2 quarterbacks I want, I'm not telling you who I want. You don't know.
Of course you're not going to tell me. And why would I expect you to?
Yeah. Because I can go 2 different directions right now. I don't know if you know which direction I will go.
And there goes the tight end that I wanted. It was by Cougar Advance. I wanted him because I need a tight end, and now I am pretty much going to be bleeding in tight ends.
So tight ends don't get you many points.
They don't, but you need something out of them. But I think I might need a wide receiver on this pick.
Well, why does this algorithm still think Tom Brady is a Tampa Bay quarterback? Did you see that?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't want to know.
No, their database has not been updated. What do you think about that, fans?
I don't know.
Oh, man, I think that's hilarious.
But I think I know who I want for pick number 66. And now we're about 2 rounds. Oh, someone already picked 49ers defense so early. What do you think of Macaroni and Cheese's approach on the defense? Andy, yes, thank you very much. Will you be going to any home games? You would like to catch a game with me? Message me on my Instagram, which is on the link in my YouTube channel. So go ahead and go for that. I know you talk about the Mariners games. So the next homestand I'm looking at is probably, as of now, I am looking at the Houston series right now. But we'll stay updated. They literally had all their season updates to their database. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, we should catch a game. Yeah, sure. Make it 12. What do you mean make it 12, Cougar boy? He's telling me to make it 12. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, if you're paying attention, you would know who my quarterback is.
Your quarterback. You have drafted. Attention, everyone. Epic C has drafted Geno Smith. And once I pick mine, I'll tell you. Well, speak of, it is my turn to pick. I am looking at either Mike Evans or definitely not Judy or Mike Williams. I'm going to go for Mike Evans. Mike Evans will get the red zone targets. Baker Mayfield will have to utilize him quite a bit. Yes, thank you, Andy. And yeah, thank you for the sub as well. Make sure you tell your other friends about my channel as well. Because I am trying to grow this channel as much as I can.
Let's see. Who do I want?
We got auto draft. So yeah, here is the quarterbacks that Epic C picked over. He picked Geno Smith over these following quarterbacks, and I'm just going to name them by list, verbatim. We got Justin Fields he picked over, then Deshaun Watson, then Trevor Lawrence, then Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, I can't even say it, Anthony Richardson, and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Do you feel was he in the range to draft him, or did you feel that you were reaching for him?
I was not drafting him too early. The reason why you look at him is look at his total points last year were higher than all those other quarterbacks. They only ranked him at a 125, but he had 300 points last year. How many quarterbacks are going to get you 300? These other quarterbacks were right in the same range, so I think they had him underranked. Just think about that.
And in retrospect, last year, as much as I had my doubts on Geno Smith, what were your thoughts on Geno Smith?
My thoughts? I thought Geno Smith had a really good season.
No, I mean, like before the season started, did you have confidence that he was going to bring the team to the playoffs?
I thought that he might have fuddled out a few weeks into the season, and then we might have to replace him with the other guy. That's why my initial thoughts. Yeah, Drew Lock versus like that. I thought that was going to happen in the preseason. I thought that was going to be the plan, but I realized that he actually is better than I expected. You know,
he really did surprise everyone.
Because I liked his story. I think one of the things that really got me on the bandwagon was like his redemption story and how he just kept getting better and better, and people started believing in him. The city wrapped around him. I thought that was such a cool storyline.
I still don't believe in him right now.
But he is getting good stat lines for other players. So just fantasy-wise, he's good. He makes mistakes, but all quarterbacks make mistakes. Even Aaron Rodgers makes mistakes.
Justin Fields is going to get obliterated this season. Yeah, he's on the Bears. What do you expect? And Russell Wilson she's expecting Russell Wilson to be obliterated. I mean, Hannah, answer this question. You don't think that Sean Payton is going to be enough to save the team? I guess not. I guess Sean Payton isn't. I mean, Epic C, do you think Sean Payton, as a great coach he is to build quarterbacks, do you think Sean Payton is enough to save the team?
I feel the team is going to win more than 5 games like they did last year. So I feel like the team could be like a 9-win team. That might be good enough to make the playoffs. It might not be good enough to make the playoffs. But I think they could be a 9-win team.
Justin Fields has just been picked by Team WTF, the team that I did beat by 0.1 by 1 yard. Can you believe that? Got Mike Williams. He's still on the board. But I know who I want as my tight end. I'm going to pick a tight end next. I will tell you that. Because my tight ends, I was trying to pick TJ Hawkinson, but he was already picked. And then I was going to pick this other guy. And I am ready to draft. And with the 79th overall pick, the Rooftop Korean selects David Njoku of the Cleveland Browns. Thoughts on that pick? I guess that's what the opinion is.
Crickets. Yes, it's crickets. Oh,
Man,
I got my tight end. I got the tight end I wanted.
Evan Ingram of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Mike Williams is now off the clock. Does anyone want Jerry Jeudy, who has fallen 18 spots? He had 980 yards last year. He did pick it up in the later parts of the season. Other guys are in the board. We got Trevor Lawrence, who was the quarterback of last year for the Jacksonville Jaguars, had a fantastic season, led the team to the playoffs. Do you expect Trevor Lawrence to repeat that again, or do you have your doubts on that? Crickets.
Trevor Lawrence, hey, let's see. So I'm trying to see how many teams still need quarterbacks. So
yeah, let me know what you got while you're looking at that. And Epic C, are you using a microphone or are you using no microphone?
I'm using a microphone.
Is it on your phone?
No, the microphone's on my desk.
Oh, well, you should probably bring it closer to your face to get the better quality.
Okay. Well, there's 3 teams that need a quarterback.
Who needs a quarterback? Dirty Birds need a quarterback still.
Yeah, there's 3 teams that need a quarterback. There's also
Fan Price needs a quarterback.
And then yourself.
Belichick yourself still needs a quarterback. Yeah. Out of looking at all those teams, who do you think is the strongest team right now? And be honest. Don't talk about yourself too much, unless you think your team is the best quarterback.
No, I think a strong team, which I think is a really good one, is macaroni and cheese. Patrick Mahomes and Derrick Henry is a good combination.
He's got Pat Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Amari Cooper. Like, if Deshaun Watson gets it right, he could have a big season. DJ Moore of the Bears. Justin Tucker, he already picked a kicker already, and now the kickers are getting off the board now.
Kicker world. Go.
Guess we're on kicker world.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is my turn to pick.
Go Kickers.
This one's going to be tough. And I only have like 20 seconds, and I don't even know who I want. Yep, I'm almost running out of time.
Oh.
Just going to pick this guy.
Okay.
And now we're getting close to the 9th round.
Mm-hmm.
And by not and attention to the league, if you are watching this, we are going to change it to 30 seconds. How do you feel about 30 seconds after 8 rounds?
I think that's good. I'm good with it. Oh, someone actually drafted Joe Burrow. He might not play for the first week.
What's Joe Burrow's problem? Didn't he have like a big injury?
Yeah, he had like a foot injury like 9 weeks ago or 7 weeks ago or something like that. It's like a sprained foot.
Yeah, must have hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty Birds has been auto-drafted the entire time, unfortunately.
And they're still Dirty Birds has no quarterback.
He may end up starting the league with no quarterback.
No, look at this. Their quarterback choices left. There's Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff. One of those quarterbacks could have a breakout season. There's also Russell Wilson, who could have a breakout season. Everyone's sleeping on Russell Wilson. He could actually do pretty well. He could actually end up coming back in this part. He's lost some weight. Like, I think people are sleeping on Russell Wilson. You know, like of these quarterbacks that are left, Tua gets injured too much.
Do you think that Russell Wilson's season was based on the fact that he had bad coaching?
I think the coach made some bad decisions. Like I think if they paid that much money for Russell Wilson, they should have put more faith in Russell Wilson, and the coach did not care much about Russell Wilson. Example, first game of the season. Yeah, Nathaniel
They burned
Hackett.
so much. They burned so much time.
Yeah. You know one of the problems I saw in the first game of the season? Nathaniel Hackett could only need to go 5 yards. Russell Wilson could have ran it for 5 yards potentially, and ended up getting that first down. Seahawks would have lost that first game, not make the playoffs. All over that one game. But the guy kicks a 63-yard field goal. Who kicks a 63-yard field goal to win a game? Who decides
Now the
that?
draft has been set to 30 seconds.
Would you do that? Kick a 63-yard field goal?
No way. No way, Jose.
No. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to have as good a season as everybody thinks he's going to have.
I don't think so either. That's why I'm not going to pick him. Unless he's already been picked.
No, he hasn't been. That would be funny if someone actually draft Tom Brady.
Could be one of those auto drafters.
No, I don't think they'll allow that because I think auto drafters goes by number order.
Let's take a look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers. Those weren't great fantasy numbers, I will say that. Those aren't great fantasy numbers. I mean, look at those numbers. He doesn't even get 30 points of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he is on the Jets, too. Don't forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like I am up for the draft.
Yes, you are.
I need another receiver, probably. I'm going to pick a Pat Mahomes receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Because who else is he going to throw to, honestly? He doesn't have Tyreek Hill anymore. Although he did win a Super Bowl without him. Now the defenses are starting to get off the map.
Yep.
Rashad Penny is now on the Eagles now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Looking at the depth chart for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to tell you who I queued. Nathaniel Hackett should have been sacked after week 3. Absolutely. Then use all your timeouts when the opponent is in victory formation. That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully this draft is cruising along. Any other teams out there that is sticking out to you? Now look at you. Let me look at your team. So you got Geno Smith, Josh Jacobs, The Swift, Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, Evan Ingram, Tyler Lockett, Eagles defense, and Jason Myers.
Yeah. Are you jealous?
No? Are you jealous of my team? Okay, you guys say good, bad, or should we wait till the end?
We can wait till the end.
To say and looks like it is my turn to pick. Who do I have to pick? I'll pick this guy. I only know who he is, but I'm going to pick him anyway. It would shock me if the Jets make the postseason. You hate them and MetLife Stadium anyway. I mean, and Hannah, what don't you like about the MetLife Stadium? I'd like to know about that. I'd be very curious to know about that. Now, Team WTF is on the clock. Let's take a look at his picks. So he's got Justin Fields, Miles Sanders, James Conner. He's on the Cardinals now, who are tanking. Jamar Chase. Got Brown, Mark Andrews, Michael Thomas of the Saints, who's pretty much been broken for quite a bit. Jamal Williams on the Saints. Juju Smith-Schuster and Odell Beckham Jr. Seems like this guy is going for kind of the big names. Would you agree? Don't you think he's going for kind of name value than actual player value?
Well, Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. They're mediocre, so they're middle of the pack.
Now let's take a look at Team G. We got Josh Allen, Rashad White, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Hockenson. He's got some good big name players on that team. And after that, Brandon Cooks, Daniel Jones. What do you think of Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones,
streaky.
Yeah. Like, I think the best quarterback in the league is Patrick Mahomes. Nobody beats Patrick Mahomes.
Well, that's
number one.
A very obvious answer. He is absolutely the best quarterback in the NFL. No one can take that away from him right now.
Yeah. And
now, who do you think is the second best quarterback?
Well, I think Josh Allen's overrated, so I don't want to put him second at all.
Why do you think Josh Allen's overrated?
He folds under pressure in the playoffs.
So you think it's playoff time is when he expires?
Yes. So if you want to consider him a great player, you have to consider the whole package of him. Yes, he does good regular season, so yes, you'll get good fantasy regular season, but playoffs, he will fold on you. So what do you want to do about that? Do you keep him? Do you not? So if you're thinking about regular season only, and that's what fantasy is all about, then yes, he's fine. But he's not my first choice. I think Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's better than him. I think Jalen Hurts is better than him. I think a whole bunch of quarterbacks are better than Josh Allen. I think he's just very overrated.
It looks like I am on the clock. Think I might be looking at some defense at this point.
Oh, you're getting defense late.
Yep, I always wait, but it looks like they're going to be off the clock real soon. And the picks are going down. I'm going to pick the Patriots. You got Devin Singletary. He's on the clock still. I don't even know who that is. Or not on the clock. On the board so far. Or on the drafting board. Pick a team and we'll see. And looks like you just picked.
Yeah, I just did my pick.
Mm-hmm. And who'd you pick, Epic C?
Devin Singletary. Singletary, the guy you're just talking about. Ironically, Houston.
Russell Wilson is still available. Looks like he's being slept on really hard. Let's see how far he gets slept in or slept through.
Well, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a team where their quarterback's going to underperform, and week 3 or 4, someone's going to be looking for a quarterback, and they're going to be looking around, and really the only person left right now is kind of like the only person left kind of that you're talking about starting quarterbacks. There's only a few starting quarterbacks left. Like, just look at it. Who's left as starting quarterbacks?
You don't know.
I do.
Do you? And Russell Wilson, he still had 3,000 yards, 3,874 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 11 picks. Broncos country. Let's hide.
I just did the funniest pick ever.
What'd you do? Are you Night Watch?
No.
Who's Night's Watch?
I want you to notice what I just did. This is funny.
Oh, I know who that is.
Well,
okay, it's a matter of who I'm going to pick. I am running out of time.
Yeah, I ran out of time and I drafted a second QB.
You picked Jared Goff.
He's a starter.
Hey, just announcement. Russell Wilson is still available. Just so you know.
Yeah, but does everybody have a quarterback now?
I think everyone has a quarterback right now.
They have Anthony Richardson.
He's a rookie. Rookie for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, and then let's see. Everybody has a quarterback right now. I don't think anyone doesn't. Let's see if anyone doesn't have a quarterback yet. Like, who doesn't have a quarterback yet? Yeah, everybody has a quarterback now, so people are not going to really draft quarterbacks anymore.
No, the quarterbacks seem to be losing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look up matchups for the week. And this draft has gone on for 50 minutes so far. And we're at 4 rounds left. I know who I want as my kicker, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be gone by then.
Well, think about it. Kickers don't give you many points, and you look at the difference between like the top kicker versus like a mediocre kicker is not that many less points per
There's
week.
not. It's depends where your stadium is, and depends on matchups too.
Well, no. If you look at the actual stats of the quarterback, like the best kicker, if you look at the kickers, best kicker might be 170. They might get you 170 points that season. A mediocre kicker might get you 150, 140. You're missing out on 30 points. Is that a lot?
Justin Fields and Bryce Young did not get drafted either. Both will get decimated this season.
Justin Fields is drafted.
Oh, that was in her league. Different league it was. And I think my Korean man is gone. Oh, wait, no, he's still there. I think I'm going to pick him.
Yeah, now it's just for drafting scrubs right now. Mostly.
Pretty much at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, if my first quarterback doesn't work out, I always have backup, which is good. I've got 2 greats. What's funny is there's some of these players that had decent fantasy last year, but then they're not even on teams right now. Like running backs, you used to see some of these running backs.
Yep, that would be Son Heung-min, Hannah. It would be Son Heung-min who you're talking about, captain of Tottenham. And now the backup quarterbacks are starting to get picked. I'm debating on a couple quarterbacks. Not going to tell you, obviously.
Yes. That guy was good last year. Well, here's the thing about quarterbacks. You don't really need a backup quarterback unless your quarterback gets injured, and there's always a
bye week.
Mediocre, or a bye week. So really,
Kyler Murray really fell.
No, but think about this. Is like literally you can go to quarterbacks right now and you can look at a quarterback right now.
I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to take Jordan Love.
Like look at this. You have, what is it? How many weeks is the season? The seasons are like
18 weeks. Or our regular season is like, 15 weeks or something like that.
Yeah. So I'm just calculating it out. So even a quarterback like Derek Carr right now, who had, like, let's see how much they had last year. They had 218 last year. So 218 divided by 15 weeks. They were still averaging about 15 points a week. They're averaging 14.5 points a week. 14.5. So you could go right now and get a quarterback. Potentially, if they go to free agency, you can get a quarterback that's actually gets you almost 15 points a game. Is that bad?
It's meh. It's not what you want, but it's also not what you would not want either.
Yeah, like because what if they start playing slightly better? They get 17, 18 points a week. Is that horrible?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Trying to debate who
So
my backup defense is going to be. That's who I'm going to pick next. It's going to be based on the matchup. When I pick the second defense, I pick it based on matchups.
But here's the thing about it is, depending on who's playing each week, you can just change out teams and just go to free agency and just click and do that every week, where it doesn't matter who you draft. The last 5 picks don't really matter, do they?
No. I'm going to pick Vikings defense. And I know who I'm going to pick as my final pick.
I don't even know. I'm just there's some person on my team. Yippee.
Zach Ertz is still playing? Wow.
Oh, the guy I drafted?
Yep. Zach Ertz got drafted still.
Yeah, I didn't draft him.
And do you know who drafted Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson just got picked by Team WTF.
Hey, I think Russell Wilson could be a sleeper pick. Watch Russell Wilson be better than their main quarterback. Who drafted Russell Wilson?
Team WTF.
Okay. So Team WTF drafted them, and look at this. Justin Fields. Yep, I could see Russell Wilson becoming their starting quarterback within 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Yep. Watch it. Watch Russell Wilson become their starting quarterback, and Justin Fields is on the bench for that team.
You think so, huh?
Yes, I think that. What
do you think is Justin Fields' problem?
Justin Fields' problem is they're not an overall quarterback. Some people would almost say, are they more of a running back than a quarterback?
Yeah. Looks like some soccer comments coming in. Bayern Munich, yep, they got Kim Min-jae. So he's got a big name there. Lee Gang-in. He's making passes for Mbappe.
Look at
and now my final pick. This is my final pick. I'm picking Dallas Cowboys backup running back in case Tony Pollard goes down in injury. And now we're down to our final picks in this draft.
Let's see if they do it or not. Let's see what happens to them.
Taysom Hill got picked. You picked Taysom Hill.
Did I? Yeah. I like Taysom Hill. I like them.
He played quarterback before.
Yeah, he's a well-rounded player. I forgot to play him the week he did so well last year that I screwed myself over.
He's the Tim Tebow. He's modern day Tim Tebow right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely your phone.
Yeah, I've one of the best backup for backup quarterbacks. I have one of the best backups.
Who's your backup quarterback?
Jared Goff.
You think he'll be asleep?
Last year he was a sleeper. People didn't pay attention to him, but I think he's a good backup. I think my backup quarterback's better than Justin Fields and Russell Wilson right now. My backup quarterback.
And you have Geno Smith. And looks like the draft is complete. Yep. Now let's take a look at the fantasy football drafts in just a few moments. So would you like to review all the teams?
Yes, I would like to review the teams right now. I'm excited.
And now we're going to say good, bad, or the ugly.
Okay.
Let's go over my team, of course. You got to say good, bad, or the ugly. Oh, before I start, yes, Hwang Hee-chan, yes, he was the hero in that Portugal game. He did score that game-winning goal in that 2022 World Cup to get them in the round of 16. Mm-hmm. Thanks for reminding me. And now you have to say good, bad, or the ugly on my team.
Okay.
And we'll, of course, share the screen. So I got Justin Herbert.
Okay, good.
Tony Pollard.
Don't know who they are.
Najee Harris.
Don't know who they are.
DK Metcalf.
That's a good pick.
Deontay Johnson.
Good.
David Njoku, tight end of the Cleveland Browns.
Tight end of the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are not a good team, so I don't expect them to have any standout players this year.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is good.
Patriots defense.
They did well last year, even though they had one bad mess-up game, I think it was.
Young Ho Koo, the kicker. Well, kickers don't really matter, don't they?
They don't do much.
J.K. Dobbins of the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. Ravens might have a really good season this year.
Sky Moore. Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs have good players and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Dalton Schultz. You don't know him.
No, don't know Dalton Schultz.
Tyler Boyd.
Who's Tyler Boyd?
What do you think of Jordan Love as my pick for the quarterback, as my backup quarterback?
Jordan Love. Who do they play for?
Green Bay Packers. He's taking over Aaron Rodgers.
Well, here's the thing is, if your main quarterback never gets injured and doesn't play horrible enough, you're never going to play your backup.
Unless it's a bye week.
Unless it's a bye week. So that person just sits around doing nothing. All you're doing is basically hoarding that player from another team. And is this player going to give you average at least 20 points a game to hoard from another team? Because that's really what you're doing. Do you think
Vikings defense?
Vikings, they're okay, but they're not a defensive team. They're an offensive team.
Rico Dowdle, backup running back for the Cowboys.
Cowboys they're not a good team. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
All right, let's go to. I'm gonna look at Epic C. I'm gonna review your Epic C films, huh?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna review your team.
Okay.
Geno Smith. I will say this: he may put up the numbers, but I think he did overachieve last season. So I do expect him to have a much more challenging season, unless. Well, he has the weapons, so he doesn't really have much excuse. But man, look at those numbers. He actually did very well with those numbers too. So, But I expect somewhat of a regression season out of Geno Smith. Josh Jacobs, I mean, he's your Raiders quarterback, and with I expect him to do big things too, as usual. DeAndre Swift, I don't really know him much. We'll see. Devontae Adams, I expect him to take a drop back. Although he's on the air raid offense of Josh McDaniels, I still think it's going to have a tough season. But something like the Jay Trident podcast brought up, that he thinks that, what was he thinking? He thinks that since the Raiders play behind, they'll just score anyway. Devonta Smith, I mean, Jalen Hurts is your quarterback, so that might help him. Evan Ingram of Jacksonville, if he's the top one. Tyler Lockett, you can always depend on him to be 1,000-yard receiver, which I think he was last year. I wasn't sure, but he did play very well last year as a fantasy player.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles defense, I don't think they really have a defense. Let's see how they actually do pretty well fantasy-wise. Jason Myers, your kicker, I mean, he's not terrible. He actually had a good season last year as a fantasy player. Zay Jones, wide receiver. Decent season, I guess. Devin Singletary of Houston. Meh. Jared Goff, expect that to be a sleeper pick. I mean, I do think that considering the season the Lions had last year, I expect them to be a sleeper team. In your opinion, how do you feel about that?
I think they're a sleeper team, and it depends on how things go. Jared Goff might become my starter quarterback, or Geno Smith might stay my starting quarterback. I'm rolling with Geno first. I think Geno has that oomph there, He wants to win.
Taysom Hill, he does put up some decent numbers, but not the best numbers. So, But he is a very good athlete. Curtis Samuel of the Washington Redskins. The Redskins. Put up some decent numbers.
They're the Commanders.
Joshua Palmer. Okay. And Chiefs defense, we'll see. So that's all the teams. I think we're just going to go over those two teams, and I don't think we're going to go over the rest of the teams.
Okay.
And I think actually that is going to do it for our show. And thank you very much for being part of this show. I know it's just the three of you, but it is fantasy football. And I do intend to update about fantasy football going forward.
Okay.
And thank you, Epic C Films, for being part of the show.
Okay.
And
You're
I will
welcome.
update you on the next games I arrive. I may cover the Mariners game tomorrow, the very last parts of it, and also may cover the Chiefs game. So keep you updated on that. Other than that,
Chiefs.
Lions Chiefs. Other than that, hit that subscribe button if you did like this show, and enjoy the rest of your night. And go Hawks.
Yep. Go Hawks.